everybody, and welcome back to Celebrity with Nene. So, I'm Nene, and today I have Johnny and Reese with me, and we will be doing a live recap of the latest episode of Life After Lockup. Alright, so this will just go ahead and jump right in, and don't forget to hit the like button as you come into the room, okay, guys? Alrighty, so our first couple was Kevin and Tiffany. Alright, so we see Kevin has made it back home and he finds the note that Tiffany left for him. Because remember, she left a note on the panties or put the panties on top of the note. I don't remember the exact layout of it, but she left the note with the panties. He calls Tiffany and he says, so why you put your panties basically on the bed, with the note. Why'd you leave your old panties here? Because she's like, those aren't my panties. He's like, yeah, they're yours. Maybe they're your old panties or something. Why'd you leave them there? He's playing this game with her, basically. He's doing reverse psychology with some of the things that he's saying to her. It was like, well, she's like, these aren't my panties. He's like, maybe those are your panties. Maybe those are your old panties or something. He's just playing a lot of games with her and stuff. And so she ends up telling him during the phone call that she just needs some time to cool off. You can tell he doesn't like that she says that because he's like, you always need time to cool off. And she's like, she basically explains to him, like, I feel like you want me to basically act ghetto and loud and be screaming and yelling. And she says, you're not going to get that from me. That's just not the reaction you're going to get from me. And I can respect that. And so then they show, assuming it's a day later, but I can't really tell. Y'all know with this editing that they do. All I can tell is that it looks like it's definitely at least a day later. He has Kayla over at the house. Kayla's drinking wine. He fixed himself. It looks like a harder drink. And, Kayla is in there going off, and she asked him about Tiffany. And he does the same thing to Kayla, is doing this whole reverse psychology thing. She's like, you got her all up on Tinder in a Tinder account. And he's like, she did that. I didn't make her do that. She did that all on her own, kind of stuff. And, basically it's saying almost like he didn't know, like Tiffany just did this. And she's like, you're okay with her just doing. And she was saying a lot of stuff to him. She was like, "I'm the main one, and but you treat me like I'm the side chick." And he asked her, he was like, "When was the last time we was in a relationship?" It was years ago, right? And so I get what he was doing. It was like, okay, look, we haven't been together, but you still sleep with that girl because she did say, you act like we're not still messing around or whatever. And he didn't deny that they are still messing around, but it's like you tried to throw that out there almost of I ain't been with her in years. Like I don't know. I don't know how these girls deal with Kevin. I don't understand it. Him and his wordplay. All right, so tell me, what do you guys think of Kevin and Tiffany this week?
Um, can you hear me?
Hmm.
Okay, I know I was too far away, but so I feel like with Kevin, he is like one of the people who is like he'll play on words like you said how he was like, oh, we ain't been in a relationship in how long, and then she was like, well, it's been years, but he know they've been sleeping together like probably last week or something. So he just I don't know, he too much for me, but I think he need to figure out what he want. Do you want to keep messing with Kayla? You want to mess with Tiffany? Because like I feel like Kayla gonna like embarrass him with, and not even necessarily like acting ghetto, but like just airing out what's going on if he don't like make a choice. Because like she said, they adults. Like why are you playing games? So I don't know. Like he's kind of starting to annoy me just because he's still playing games, even though he's talking about he enjoyed all that stuff when he was younger. But it seems like he still enjoy it now. The only thing I will agree with that he did say was like the way Tiffany was going through his stuff, and I'm kind of devil's advocate on it too because I feel like she's going through his stuff because you giving her reasons not to trust you. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying you coming off sneaky, but I do agree sometimes that when somebody is like that, super jealous like that, and always accusing you. it could be that because they're doing something and they're accusing you because they know what they're doing in their
Hmm.
life. So it's like, well, if you're acting like this, it's probably because you're doing this, and they know from firsthand. And I've been through that, and that junk is not cute. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you cheating, you don't have to accuse me of cheating just because you cheating or you doing your thing. So
Yeah,
um,
I
that's one
definitely.
thing I can agree with him on that. Like, you searching for that stuff and then you mad and you all this and that, and once you can get your stuff together, then let me know. That means to me you ain't gone either by the way she left the note. Like, um, she ain't done with him. And by
No.
the conversation, she ain't done with him. So it could be that she doing her thing too. And she just don't trust him either. They don't trust each other because they both doing it. But yeah, I think he need to quit with that whole I used to do when I was younger because he's still doing immature kitty stuff too. So
Yeah, so I'm like you, Reese. I do agree with when he made that statement, but my only issue is that he used a very true statement as a form of manipulation because he knows what he's doing. That
yeah,
girl has barely been gone, and you have another woman sitting in that house. So you cannot say that she's just that this is all on her. She could be doing something. She could,
that's
but at the same token, he is not innocent.
but
So,
that's why I say it go both ways because look at him. He's accusing her of cheating
hmm,
because of what he's doing. So he also knows that statement because of himself too.
right,
But I think a lot of times it is you'll have an innocent person and you get accused of cheating because that person is up to no good, and because of what
right.
they're doing, they projecting it onto you, but it's really them. And I'm like, and I don't get that. Like, if you cheat, and just be a good cheater and shut up, or well, really let me go if it's me. You know what I'm saying? Let me go and go do you. Be single and do you. But if you're gonna be a cheater and you want to sit here and act like you're innocent, don't project that on me. Just do your
Yeah,
thing. You know what I'm saying? And then when you caught, you caught.
yeah. I
Right.
know one
I
time
think
I
that's a
dealt
good cheater.
with somebody that was cheating on me, and what they were doing, their little manipulation was, I was coming to them like, look, I know X, Y, I know that something's going on because you're such is going on, and they're like, well, tell me what you know. No, you want to confirm that I know. That's what you're trying to do. But you're trying
Yeah.
to get out of me, and I didn't like that at all. And
Or they want to
then
know
just
so they can make up a lie about what you got to
yeah,
say.
or they can start covering up what it is that I'm seeing, or what it is I think I know. Hmm.
But one other thing before Johnny goes, the other thing too is when he was like, I don't even know who these are. I'm sure he does know who they are because I'm sure
Yeah.
they're old girls. But to me, that makes him look even worse because it's like, so you can have women in and out. You can't even tell whose underwear these are. Like, this is how many women you can just have in and out your house. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, how many other underwear are hidden around there if you don't know whose those are? You know what I'm saying? To me, that makes him
Right.
look worse than to say, okay, these are from an old relationship. I just never got rid of them, or I haven't got rid of them yet. But this is from my past. But instead, you're like, I don't even know who they are. So it's like, well, dang, how many people you cheating with then?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's in your current drawer too. And it wasn't like
Yeah.
this.
So you
This
put them
like
in
he
your
did a whole lot
drawer.
of stuff in there.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm
then
like,
you put them in your drawer so you can give them back to somebody.
or maybe so they have underwear when they come around next time or something. Who knows?
That's
Yeah, because
gross.
I don't feel like you
Well,
saved them
maybe he cleaned
for
them.
some random
Put 'em
girl,
in. I
because you
hope
can't
they
just
cleaned them.
give a random pair of underwear to a girl.
That's what I'm saying. So when that girl comes
Yeah.
back, her underwear, she already got a pair of underwear there. Which that's cool if she's somebody who's there all the time. But if you're gonna have Tiffany living there, then you the dummy that left them in there. Stupid. And then gonna say, I don't even know who's there. Well, then that's nasty because you got too many women in. And they all leaving their stuff. Like what? Like worst cheater ever.
I think this is a case of women overthinking things.
Oh, definitely.
uh, I don't think he really knows whose underwear they are. They could have just easily, they're black. There's nothing like super special about them. I mean, do men really pay attention to women's underwear like that? They barely pay attention to anything else. So how are they going to really know whose underwear they really are? So I really
Well,
don't think.
well, to me, if you're making up your bed every day, you're gonna run across these underwear pretty quickly after you've had somebody over there. I don't think that his house does look clean, so it looks like he cleans it on a regular. So if I find these underwear on Saturday, who have I had over here in the last few days since the last time I cleaned? It's got to be their underwear, unless you're not
No,
keeping your house clean or you're running that many women through.
yeah, but when she found him, he even asked her, "Where did you find these?" Maybe if she said, "I found them in your drawer," then he probably would have been like, "Oh." But he doesn't even know where she found the underwear. She never told him. And he did keep saying that was funny though. That, are you sure these? Why you put these on your underwear? Blah 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 blah. But I just don't think I don't. I'm not saying he's not cheating because he is obviously because Kayla confirmed it. But he does, and that's the other thing with what's her face, Tiffany. If you really were trying to, I was an investigator. I investigated my hunches and my thoughts because I didn't want him to catch on to what I knew or how I found out or whatever the case may be. I was the quiet one. I sat and observed and I paid attention. So he could never really wiggle himself out of when he got busted. With her, the simple fact that she has a key, like when you give me a key, that means I have free access. That means I can come whenever I want to come. I can leave whenever I want to leave. So when he's sleeping with Caleb, it can't be at his house. I don't see how he's doing it at his house because she has free access. He has to be doing it at hers. So it's not a possibility to me. I think that's too much risky for him to have given her a key and he's still sleeping with Kayla at his place. And then Kayla actually popped up. He didn't know she was coming through. She popped up, which is probably why she didn't pop up while Tiffany was over there because he goes to her instead of her coming to him. Those are the only other things
But
I
I
can
mean,
think
let me
of.
ask you this. Does it make a difference where he sleeps with her at? Isn't it the fact that he's sleeping with her? I mean,
Well,
it's not
yeah,
going
it
to make
does
me
make a
feel
difference
any
because
better if
we're
he's sleeping
trying.
with her at a hotel versus at his house. It still hurts. It's still wrong.
No, what I'm saying is he can't be sleeping with Kayla at his house. Therefore, those panties can't be like recent underwear. They have to be old underwear, is what I'm getting at. Because if
Hmm.
you give somebody free access to your house like that, I can't imagine him really taking the risk and knowing that she doesn't trust him like that anyway to let her come over and sleep at his house. I think he's sleeping with her at her place. I just don't think I really honestly, I just believe that he don't really honestly knows whose underwear those are. That's all I'm getting at. I think we're over analyzing the underwear. As far as him cheating, we know he's cheating because Kayla confirmed that he's cheating. No, I don't agree with cheating. I feel like if you're going to see other people, you see other people. You don't be
Right.
committed to me. I'm not committed to you. You want to sleep with 4 or 5 people? That is your choice. And I will choose if I'm one of the 4 or 5 or if I'm number 6. I will choose that. But don't sit here and make me think that we're in something that we're not. And that's what pisses me off with dating in general. We're dating. You don't want to know if I'm sleeping with 4 or 5 men. You really care to know that? No, you don't want to know that. So just know that I'm dating. You're dating until we have the conversation that we're exclusive. I can't question you about what you do. You can't question me about what I do, and keep it moving. So I just don't like that. Don't make me feel like we're in something that we're not. And I don't understand with him why he's not honest with Caleb because no matter what he tells her, she's still going to be there. Like he could say, I am with Tiffany and she's going to drop the draws. I don't think she's going to leave him alone. She's been dealing with his
No.
foolishness and everything for how many years now? And then to
Right.
know that when a man tells you that, when he sits there and he says to you, we're not in a relationship and we haven't been in a while, that's reinforcing the fact that he does not see you in that way. But you see yourself in something that you're not. He's told you, he
Yeah.
said, we are not together. And I understand that he was playing on those words, but he is reinforcing the fact that I am not with you. So what I do shouldn't matter with anything. So he is keeping it somewhat 100 with her. And I can understand why he doesn't tell her about Tiffany too much. And I don't see how they haven't met yet, especially with the fact that she pops up the way she does. Kayla does.
No, because I think at the end of the day, Kayla does know that there's more to Kevin and Tiffany,
Mhm.
and especially if now he comes and knocks her down at her place, she knows what's going on.
She has to know.
Um,
Like,
Generally, I say when a man is cheating, your main woman knows. She'll
mhm.
sense something, you
Right.
know. She sense
Always.
something and will
Because
play,
they never can
their
manage to
role.
just the way mine would do it when he would cheat, he would be extra nice to me. Why are you being so nice? Like, is that your guilt? Like, I don't understand. And then, of course, by the time it would get to the point where he was busted, that's when I got the I don't care dude. Like, he was just an ass. It is what it is. So you always tell on yourself by your actions, not so much
Right.
that we are really paying attention like that. I'm not sitting there watching you every day wondering, oh, he must have started cheating today. No, it's your actions and your inconsistency in your actions that
Yeah.
trigger those things.
Yeah. Something has changed, and that's
Yeah,
what I'm noticing is that change.
exactly.
So
Absolutely.
did him and Tiffany say they were exclusive? I mean, I guess they kind of did.
Didn't
They
Tiffany
said they
say
were-
what?
Him and Tiffany said they were exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why he gave her. But that's the whole thing. He gave her a key. Like, that's the part that just trips me out. Somebody he I do think he did seem sad that Tiffany was gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think Tiffany's his favorite.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
I
that's
think
who
Tiffany
he
is the
wants.
main, and Kayla is one of the side chicks.
Yeah.
So that
Absolutely.
makes
But
you wonder,
I,
like, what is Tiffany doing? Like, she must be doing some strange things. Cause listen to everything that Kayla said. Like, she got all her stuff together. Plus, they are like got amazing chemistry.
but that
She
goes to
was
show it
in
doesn't matter
place
what
for
you
things for
have.
him.
Yeah, but then that goes to show it doesn't matter what you have. It's your personality and your connection with that man that will make that man choose you over somebody else. Like, yeah,
True.
you can have all your shit together, and that man still just
This
can't.
is a convict that he connected to.
But he's just
What
connected to your
did I tell
stuff.
you? This is
He
life.
wants to get out
This
of
is
prison
life
to
as
go
a
fit.
woman. That just shows as a woman we can have it all together, all together, and that man
We
will still
see,
choose a no low
yeah.
down woman and
I
be
mean, we
like,
see it every
but
day.
I,
See
but I
it every
want
day. It
you.
happens all the time.
He
We're
gonna let her
living it. Look at
stop.
us and we're single. We're living
Single
it.
life, I tell you. I swear, I think I'm gonna be single forever because of this.
You're totally right. And then this whole new generation of dating, because I've been out the dating world for a while, this whole new generation is these guys who expect you to
Garbage.
chase them.
It's
I'm
garbage.
sorry.
That's why I said I think I'm gonna be a dog mom. And when this dog gone, I'm gonna get another dog and just be a dog mom and just that's
Girl, if
it.
you really want a baby, you can make your baby. You can totally have your baby if you want one.
True, because
You
there is
don't
all
need a
I
man
think I
for
got the
that
money for that
anymore.
though. But I ain't got
It's
the
just
money for all that. Then if I paid to do all that stuff and then that sperm don't go through, then it turn out it's some psycho sperm, I'll be mad.
yeah.
So now I gotta
It's
raise a
definitely
serial
a
killer.
trusting process. But
Yeah,
hey,
now I gotta raise this little serial killer and John.
this whole new thing but
Yeah,
my relationship wasn't worth staying in either. So I'm fine. I'm not fine. I'm actually happy. I am totally content where I'm at. I can just say that dating is totally it's too much. And that's why, because you have these men who just can't be honest. And then they're nervous and intimidated by your honesty. And then they don't like that you have your own.
yeah.
Like, they're intimidated by that. Like, damn, I've never had to sit and wait for anybody to do for me. I am never not going to not have what I want, waiting on you to do something for me. No, I'm good. I've managed just fine without you.
Pretty much. I'm like, man, I swear life is like less dramatic. It's
Hmm.
just nice to have somebody. It's nice to have somebody. It's nice to be like, I know at the end of the day I'm not alone, but good grief. Like some of
Yeah.
the stuff you have to deal with to not be alone. It's like,
But
and I
that's the
mean,
other thing.
even in this situations, like, I mean, I feel like every relationship that has failed, um, I ain't gonna say I didn't play some parts in it, you know what I'm saying? But I did do my best to try to be the best person I could. And obviously my older relationships, at the older age, I was faithful. So I'm like, I'm not I can at least have peace with all of my breakups when it comes to that.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I guess I get boring after a while. And
Maybe I do too. Who
they just
knows?
leave.
I'm saying I hate boring people. I'm like, you boring too. So
They
why you
leave.
that I'm boring? You boring.
Yeah, right.
Like you out here living your best life, but you boring too.
Yeah,
But
but I like the companionship that it brings.
I
But
do
I
too.
don't
I
like all
do.
the extra drama behind it. I don't like you feeling intimidated because I did something without you. I don't like you feeling like you got to control the situation. I don't feel like you feel like you got to uproot me because you don't have control because you feel less of a man because you did blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just over all of that. I just want somebody to hang out with, chill with, go to the movies with here and there, go out sometimes, have good conversation, and be done. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
But that's even hard to find. So it's
Maybe a sugar daddy will do that.
girl, they don't want us. We too old. Well, I'm too old. I'm in my 40s. They looking
Never
for 20s.
mind.
And you can't manipulate me with that
We ain't
foolishness.
got it though, so hey, maybe we can still look at because I be having
Yeah,
people like on TikTok, they be like, "You be a sugar baby." I'm like, ain't I too old for that? Like, you supposed to be in your 20s.
girl. If they were to, I don't know. I don't know.
I
As
don't
long as
believe.
she
I'm
got
saying
a
them
strange for
TikTok
change.
city brothers ain't real though. They ain't nobody. I'm like, yeah, right. Then send me a cash up now. You
Prove
real?
it.
Send me
Prove
the
it
cash up
before
right
I
now.
do anything extra.
Send me the cash up right now.
I know that's right.
All right, so I guess we'll go to our next couple, Deontay and Nicole. Alrighty, so we see that they're actually leaving Blaine's house.
It's
They're
not
headed over.
Nicole.
I'm sorry.
Her name's not Nicole, is it?
No,
Deontay's.
her name's Lindsay.
Okay.
I think I was thinking back to last season. So Deontay and Lindsay. So we see that they're leaving Blaine's house and they're headed over to it's either a hotel or Airbnb that they're staying at. I thought I heard them mention an Airbnb, but so they're riding along. They're headed to their next destination, and Lindsay asks Deontay to bail out her friend that he's never met. She wants him to go get TC now, and so Deontay is kind of like, why can't you bail him out? It's your friend or whatever. And that's when she go ahead and she reveals to Deontay that she has warrants. And so Deontay asks her, he's like, so are you on the run? And in a long runabout way and play on words, she basically says yes at the end, which she is kind of on the run if they're trying to arrest her. Um, And then she's like, she kind of explains things to him. And she's also like, if we get pulled over by the cops, don't say what my name is. Act like you don't even know me, which that's suspicious enough. If a person is in the car with you, you're acting like you don't know them. That's
I'm like,
suspicious.
that's a hitchhiker. I don't know her.
And so he kind of talks to her and is like, you need to be careful about your loyalty. I mean, the things that he was saying was correct. Kind of like what she needs to do is do what she's got to do to be able to stay free. You know, And so she puts the pressure on him about bailing out TC to the point where he actually goes to the jail to go get TC out. But once he goes to the jail, she also preps him before he goes in. It's like, this is his name. Ask how much it costs to get him out. Ask if there's any holds on him. So when he goes in there, he finds out there is a hold from another jail. So if he bails him out, they're just going to pick him up and take him somewhere else. So that's going to be a waste of their money. And so he comes out and he tells her, and she's like, oh, but she's like, you were a rider for doing that for me, though. You know, almost, I guess, trying to blow his head up a little bit about it. Um, I still am shocked that he actually went in there and tried to bail somebody out that he does not know. Like, I'm sorry, that's where I would have had to say no. Because if the guy doesn't show up for court, Deontay is stuck. you know. But hey, you guys tell me, what do you think about Deontay and Lindsay?
I'm excited for Deontay.
Mhm.
I
Oh
think it's
my gosh! And then did y'all catch when he said when they get to wherever they get to, he's wearing that thing out? I
yes, yeah.
said
He totally admitted all of that. And I'm like, you know
yes.
what? I am so excited for you, Deontay. How long did that take? It took him two
Right,
seasons to finally get some.
right.
So
Two
I,
pickups from the prison to get it. Yes.
yeah, and I know what he did was stupid, putting himself at risk like that for somebody he doesn't know. But you could tell she was very grateful that he at least attempted, and he listened. You know, like he did ask the questions. He didn't just leave the money in there, and he called to make sure it's what she wanted. And I just thought that was cool. I know by any means I would definitely not tell my son to do anything like that. Be like, don't you dare. I just thought it was cool the way he went ahead and did it and trusted her about it, and it all worked out because he didn't have to, you know. And I think it just kind of showed her uh, what is the theme of this episode, loyalty. So I guess it showed her his loyalty too, and she didn't feel so because she said the last guy was very condescending and judgmental. And so to be with Deontay and he wasn't judging and being condescending about it, just trying to guide her to do or make better decisions. So I do hope next episode we finally get to see what Deontay looks like after he's had sex.
Probably teasing hard.
You know?
He's probably looking at her blushing.
Okay.
But you finished? I
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
done.
start. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you too. Like, a piece of me feels some kind of way about him doing it, but at the same time, and I feel like she, in a way, she was wrong for asking him because I mean, the dude came all the way down to see you, not to go bail your friends out and all that. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? He did all this traveling. Like, that's not really what you should have been asking him. But I get it. She ain't had nobody else, and she was able to tell him. I mean, it's an odd time to tell him, but hey, she was able to tell him, like, you know, I got warrants and all this. So it is what it is. And he was like, wow, what do I keep getting myself into? But this is the life you choose. Like she said, just because she don't look like a prisoner, she's still a convict, you know what I'm saying? So you keep choosing these inmates. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What are you doing to yourself at the end of the day? But I do think it was cute that she did let him know she appreciated the effort and was like, you know, all right, well, we tried, so now let's go ahead and go because you know it was her friend and she didn't want to just leave him hanging. So I can respect that, and I'm glad she didn't try to be like, well, let's figure out what we need to do next. None of that. She just said, well, our hands are tied, and she's like, and besides, it's a better prison. Like this one is like nicer, so leave him here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that was
saying? Which
funny too.
was very thoughtful because if they had to bail him out, then he would have went to a even a worse one. So
Worst place, yeah.
at least let him stay where he at for now, and not have to go straight to the bad one. He'll get some time
Yeah.
before he gets going.
I
But
thought that was funny.
yeah, that was. And then
I like
I think
her energy is very positive, considering her energy is just different. I actually like her. So I
yeah,
guess we'll
I do
see. Yeah.
see what ended up happening with her. But so I mean overall, like I can agree with you. Like I definitely prefer him with her over Lindsay because I know he's gonna get some. Plus,
You mean over
she cool.
Nicole?
I mean,
Nicole.
over Nicole. Yeah, Lindsay is her. I prefer him with Lindsay over Nicole because he is gonna get some, and that's not the most important thing. More importantly, I really do think she into him.
Yeah.
Like she's kissing him freely. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like forced, and she's not saying, "Oh, give me stuff." She got her own money. You know what I'm saying?
And
So like, he's
yeah,
already
and
coming
he
out.
still yeah, she gave him the money to pay the bond. She didn't say, "Oh,
Yeah,
you can't do it for me."
yeah.
So she's
So
genuine.
even with it being another crazy situation, it's still a better crazy situation, I guess. If you're gonna do the lesser of two evils, I'll take Lindsay for now. We ain't
Right.
seen everything, but for now, I'll take Lindsay.
Yeah.
Plus, like I said, she seems like she genuinely into him. Like Like even from the day when she met him, and in person and hugged him, like you could tell she was just like, "Oh my God, you're actually here!" Like, and then in the car it was cute too because she was looking at him, and he was like, "What are you looking at?" And she was like, "I looked at you through a camera. Can I just enjoy looking at you?" I'm like, "That was cute."
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't think he's used to that. So
No, you can tell
like,
he's not.
yeah. So I for now I'm gonna say like I'm enjoying watching them.
Yeah. I
It
agree.
might be drama filled, but for now it's cute right now.
All right. So our next couple was Amber, Puppy, TC, and Eric. So TC is Amber's new man. So okay, so we see that Puppy and Eric. I had to say their names slowly to make sure I'm putting the right people with the right interactions. So they go see a divorce lawyer. I feel like the divorce lawyer didn't tell them anything that everybody don't already know. Um, and so the divorce lawyer ends up telling them it's going to probably run about 6,500 for their divorce. And Puppy's looking at looking at Eric, and he's like, yeah, he wants to do it. I don't know if he paid for it then. They didn't show us that, or if they set up a payment plan. We didn't see that part of it. But we do see once they walk out of the lawyer's office, Puppy just straightforward asks him, does he still love his wife? And he stalls with his answer. I was like, Puppy, red flag, red flag, red flag. He shouldn't be stalling with his answer if he's close to you. Like, why can't he just say, no, I'm in love with you? But he didn't. And then we see that Amber, she meets her boyfriend, her new boyfriend, and they are doing basically axe throwing. They're at this place and they're throwing axes. And she's making it lighthearted. She's like, I don't know if I'm really supposed to be here throwing axes. And he's like, well, did you have like a stabbing conviction? It was lighthearted, funny, or whatever. And so she tells him about the ceremony for her parents, their wedding ceremony. And and she's like, I hope when I'm my mom's age, I look as good. And then she's like, do you see yourself being with me for a long time till I'm like my mom's age? And he tells her, yes, I could actually see myself marrying you. And we see Amber respond to him, and she's like, she's never had a relationship like they have before. So children were never a thought for her. But now children are a thought for her. Which I was like, oh, that's kind of sad, but I'm happy that she's in a relationship where she could think things like this. But then it's kind of sad that she never had that before.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so we see that Puppy calls Amber, and Amber has Puppy's number saved as wifey in her phone. And he sees that too. And so she answers a phone call, and Puppy's telling her, hey, I want to tell you what happened at the divorce lawyer, and I have something else to talk to you about. So she's like, hey, let's go shopping tomorrow and we can talk about it. And they get off the phone. And so, like I said, her new boyfriend, he does make the mention of it, but he's like, I guess that's just some prison thing, kind of attachment that they still have or whatever. And then we see that Puppy goes to visit her mom. And they have, a heart to heart talk. They're sitting out on the porch, and she's saying that she doesn't feel like she's number one in Eric's life. And her mom says, when I was with your dad, I never questioned whether I was important to him, the most important thing. So, you got to think about that. If you don't feel like the most important person to him, kind of you got to reevaluate being with him. Right. And that was pretty much their scenes this week. Johnny and Reese. Reese with the lip gloss. What are the thoughts?
Man. So I got like a lot of thoughts. More so, like I thought not Puppy, Amber and her dude, they were cute. I do think it's weird that she still got Puppy as wifey when she should have been back to Puppy. Because I mean, when you're in a relationship, that is kind of rude to have her as wifey. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying, or bestie or something. I don't know, but I wouldn't keep her as wifey unless I'm single and I want to do that. But they're cute. I like how she was like, I think I actually never thought about kids. Think about them with you. That's cute. Like, I mean, she really likes him,
Mm,
and like I say, he's not what she's used to. So it might turn out to be something good. Um, as far as puppy, I really think she needs to leave that dude, and that's only from the outside looking in because
mm-hmm.
when he gave his story about old girl and how he was really sick or something. I don't know what type of sick it was, but he was really sick, and so he had to she was there for him. He got this bond that puppy's never gonna have with him,
Right.
and maybe she is thinking that they could get back together or something, or maybe she is feeling, like maybe the wife is like, or knows like, hey, we still communicate on a regular, whatever the case may be. But for her to continuously feel the way she feel about this dude, and now she also found out because she said they've been together 2 years. He said he's been away for a
Yes,
year and a half.
Yeah.
but I
So
mean, he
he also,
jumped from the wife straight to puppy. There
yeah.
was
So the
no
first six
break in there.
months, y'all were you were his side chick.
Right.
Technically, because he's married, you are still technically the side chick. You're not, like you might be his fiance, but you're really not because if he can't marry you tomorrow,
Nope.
then you know what I'm saying. Like it's to me, it's just a word. It's not really like a real for real. I'm his fiance. I can marry him whenever I want. Like I'm his fiance, but I gotta wait till he get divorced. Like that's to me that's ridiculous.
Right.
Um, he need to get his stuff together. And then it was like when I understand him asking the cost because even though she was like the cost shouldn't matter, the cost does matter. I mean, if he can't afford it, he can't afford it.
Right.
Right.
Like so, I wouldn't mad at him for asking about the cost because I mean that is expensive. Like when I got divorced, it was cheap. So I'm like anything more expensive than what I paid. I'm like, man, but I
Yeah,
know divorces are expensive.
yeah, and then we don't know what state the wife is in because
Yeah.
if it's across state lines, it becomes very expensive. So,
Well, see, I got mine in Vegas. So in Vegas, even though we didn't get married in Vegas, I got divorced in Vegas, and it was super cheap. Like it only gets expensive if you have kids, and we didn't. So for us, it was real cheap. It was cheaper to get married because we did a courthouse, but still, the divorce wasn't bad. So for me, I understand where he's coming from, especially if he ain't got it. Like he was rich, then okay, yeah, you say why are you even asking? But I don't know. I just feel like it's still something to it. And I remember he was saying something about he couldn't even tell all of the reasons about why he wasn't divorced yet and all this stuff. So it's something,
Right.
it's more to it
More to
even.
it.
Yeah. So I feel like even at 65,000, 70,000, or 6,500, whatever she quoted him, like that's still not gonna be the only issue. Cause it's gonna get more and more expensive if she contests it. If you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of reasons that the price can still go up. That's probably the uncontested price. And she was saying it's gonna be easier if you like let the woman know versus us trying to serve her and then she fights it.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
she did
don't know.
touch on that. Yeah, she touched on that. She said, "Does she even know you're serious about divorce? How long?"
Yeah.
So with Puppy, that should have struck something because he started your relationship off cheating on his wife. He
Yep.
didn't officially leave his wife till you were in the picture 6 months.
Yep.
I,
Bad to
I,
yeah. And
Puppy's
he
a
didn't
pretty
leave her.
girl.
He still ain't love her.
Yeah,
Technically. He's very
he,
sure.
mm-mm. I think it's time for Puppy to let it go. She's gonna find herself in a situation being toxic, and if you can't tell your mom, and I'm so glad her mom looks better. She seems like she's gotten back. Maybe she's in
yeah,
remission,
she's a
so
little
that was
healthier.
awesome.
Like, yeah,
Um, to see her mom looking healthy,
Yeah.
just kind of, she doesn't look as sick as she did. She doesn't look sick, so
Mm-mm.
I'm glad to see that. Uh, but Puppy, I'm sorry, sweetheart. You just gonna have to let that go. Let him go. 2 years, yes, tough, sucks. Totally agree.
It really does, but
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want that. And it's not like you don't know anymore.
and she
You're
can
not
always
even
come home.
questioning him on. Yeah, she's not even questioning him on how their relationship started. Uh, 2 years. I thought y'all had been separated before us, or whatever the case may be. But it's almost making it sound like you're the
she probably knew.
Yeah, and that's
That's how
not
she looks.
that's
When he
not
said,
Because she
"A year
said
and
they've
a half."
been together almost 2 years, and then when he was sitting in that lawyer's office, he said he'd only been separated
For a year and a
for a year
half.
and a
a year
half.
and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, but she looked like, huh?
Yeah. She gave the
So I don't
startled
know
look like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny because ever since Amber mentioned the last episode about how they matched their clothes, so watching them looking at them both in their motorcycle jacket type jackets, I was
Yeah.
like, gosh, they do match a lot. But yeah, I'm sorry. She needs to let him go and hurt because she's gonna hurt and
Mm-hmm.
find somebody else because she will. She's a
Yeah.
very pretty girl.
Yeah.
She doesn't need she don't need that. You can definitely find somebody else. I mean, these women finding men faster than I am. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
But I think it's because
But Amber said she had a few. She just really likes old dude. So I don't know. I hope Puppy can move forward and find something better.
I
Mhm.
think it's because she never been proposed to either. Because remember how she acted?
Oh yeah.
Nobody ever asked her, so I think it's harder to walk away from this because it's the first time she's been engaged. Um, I'm like, I only been engaged once and married once, and oh well, still walked away from all that.
You're right. I guess, and then too, he messed that up when he proposed because maybe in her mind she was thinking, "Oh, you're finally further with the divorce,"
Mhm.
and I can't. That's totally misleading as well.
Yeah.
So
But I,
it would be totally interesting to see if the wife comes a part of the show.
mm. But I do agree that he needs. You know what? She might. They might be leading into her being a part of the show. But I do agree with Puppy, and at least if something started, then she should. If she decides to stay, then that feels better than nothing going on at all. You just sitting here as a fiance for however long and never gonna be able to get married because nothing's ever happened. So
Mhm.
even if they never finish it, you know what I'm saying? At least I guess if it started, that's a process, and then she can kind of push from there.
Yeah. So, let's see. All right. So the next couple that we saw was Destiny, Sean, and Sarah. All right, and we see that the scene starts out with Destiny. She is headed to go crash the wedding. There's no thinking about it. It's like, I'm going to go crash the wedding. We see her pack up, drive off in her truck to go, heading off to Ohio. It's crazy she's driving that far pregnant. That was my main thought. Like, girl, you too pregnant to be making this drive like this. But hey, each his own. We also
For
see
now,
that Kelly.
$50,000.
Yeah, the think you're gonna get it is crazy. Like he just has that laying around to give to you anyway. Even if he truly owed you this, which he don't, but whatever. Okay, and we see that Kelly's at the airport. Her daughter and her son are with her. She starts talking to her daughter, about, how does she feel about seeing her dad getting married and stuff like that. And so the daughter talks, and they basically show us flashbacks of how the daughter felt after her dad had broken up with Destiny, how she felt with all of that. Okay, and then we see that Sarah and Sean, they're not spending the night together. They're going to actually sleep separately. Talking about they want to keep, they want to do this tradition. But I'm like, your belly stuck out. Y'all live together. Y'all have broken so many traditions. What's the big deal about sleeping together the night before the wedding? At this point, y'all just done the most. And so then we see that Sean, he has went and got a hotel room for the night. And in true we fashion, there is a knock at the door. They've already set it up where we don't know if it's Kelly or if it's Destiny knocking on the door. Um, I'm going to throw out my guess who it is. I think it's Destiny at the door. That's who I think it is at the door. Hey guys, tell us in the comments, who do you think is knocking at the door? All right, Johnny and Reese, tell me, who do you think was knocking at the door, and your thoughts on Sarah
They look like
and
they were
Sean.
in two different hotels. So I was
Mhm.
confused because it wasn't the same hotel. And then
Right.
first and foremost, shame on hotel staff. You're not supposed to release any information about your
Yeah,
guests.
you are not at
And
all.
that is crazy because I thought we probably told Destiny
Hmm.
where Sean was. And I think it's Destiny. I think it's Destiny.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know
it
if
is.
they're timing it 2 different times of day and all this other stuff, but I think it's Destiny.
Hmm.
And then as far as all of that goes, Sean, you just haven't learned your lesson. Now your wife is going to be all stressed. Your pregnant wife, pregnant fiance at
Yeah, he
that,
don't care.
is
Yeah.
going to be super stressed seeing both these women at your wedding that you didn't tell about. And then y'all have to stop calling these people kids. Now, I guess they have 3 more kids left, which they're not at the wedding. And if he paid her to bring them at the wedding and she didn't, shame on her. She better give him his money back. 1. And then 2, these are adults. So I'm totally confused why she even had to come along if your kids are adults. So I'm totally confused about this dynamic with their children because they're not children. There's 3 now that we have seen that are all at least over 20 because they all look over 20 to me.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I don't understand how old the other 3 are, and I don't understand why they're not there. If that was your whole purpose was to come and bring them to the wedding, so and then to sit there and say, "Well, I want to make sure she knows what she's getting into." That's not your place. You know, you're not friends with this girl. You know nothing about this girl. You shouldn't care what she's getting into, but she's not still harboring feelings for him. So all of that's just weird to me. She doesn't make a lot of sense. Kelly doesn't. Destiny don't make a lot of sense. He obviously like dealing with women who ain't got all their marbles upstairs because Destiny is totally delirious. And then I didn't like how she left the bug open like it's possibly his kid. I was doing the math of like, there's no way it's his kid. Because he didn't even ask, is it my kid? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like that she left that nugget out there like, yeah, it's possibly his. It's not his kid. And why she's not chasing after her husband the way she's chasing after him is just, it's weird. I don't get all that. So I guess we'll find out next week what happens with all of them showing up at the wedding or at
Okay.
his hotel room at night. And then they showed his butt. Like,
I'm so sick of seeing Sean's body.
like,
They
why do
love
we have to
showing
see
us his
that?
body. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see it.
I
That
don't
is not
either. There's
something that
nothing
I
sexy
lay
about
at
that.
night. Lie awake at night thinking about. Ooh, I'd love to see what Sean looks like from the back. I don't want to see that. I don't.
No, not
Show
at
me
all.
what Derek looks like from the back. Okay, I'll be here for that. Show
Yeah.
me what Ray looks like from the back, but y'all never show me that.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry, I lost it for a little second there, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. Don't want to see it. I
Next, what
couldn't
are y'all gonna
find the
bring
whole.
Stan back and show me what he looks like from the back? I don't want to see it.
I don't.
Ugh,
So
yeah,
I was just like, this is just weird.
yeah.
So we'll see what they do. I
Mhm.
I guess we'll see. That's the whole point, right?
Facts. Um, you know what my theory? Oh, can I go backwards? It was one thing I did mean to say when I was giving my review on do y'all think that Puppy could be pregnant? Because remember she don't want to say something. Y'all think she pregnant?
She could be.
I
You
didn't
know
think
something that
about
she
that.
keeps saying she don't want to say. She's like, I need to tell her, but I don't want to say. And then
Yeah,
she acted really weird. I'm like, could she be pregnant?
Yeah, maybe that's why now she actually cares about him being
him not
divorced.
being
Hmm.
divorced because they're gonna have a kid. Now,
But I
did
mean,
he
right
mention
now
he had a
she's pretty
son?
just. Hmm?
Did he mention he had a son?
No,
I
no.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kid.
No. Okay, because I thought he said his son. Oh, that's
Okay.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin has a son who
Yeah,
has a kid. Okay,
yeah, like
got it.
a teenage son.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, that was just my thoughts. I meant to mention that before we had moved on. But as far as Kelly and Destiny, I almost feel like Kelly has already been by the room, Kelly and the kid and the daughter. And wait, and then this mother thing. When they showed the flashbacks of the daughter and then showed her now, I'm like, why does she look younger now? I guess that haircut, like now she looked like she could be like 18 or something like that. But before she looked older. Like they showed her with like the short hair, and I was like, she's like a grown woman. And then they flash back, and I mean, and they go to the present, and I'm like, did she go backwards? Like, I don't know, that haircut make her like a little boy,
Yeah.
but I don't like it. But so and I'm with you too, Johnny. Like these are grown kids, so you don't need to be escorting them to the wedding. Like if they feel uncomfortable going to their own father's wedding as an adult, then just don't go. You know what I mean? You got to bring your mom to make it awkward for your dad. Like that's not fair. Now, if she's bringing the younger kids and we just don't see that, then that's different. I understand that. And then I feel like he did tell her she could come if that's what it meant for the kids to come.
Right.
So technically she's not really crashing it, even though she make it seem like she's crashing because he doesn't know she's coming. I mean, she should be courteous enough to say, yeah, I'm bringing the kids, and so he can give his wife a heads up so she's not surprised. But she want to play that little kitty game. I don't know, but I feel like
playing it. Yeah.
But I feel like because, well, we know Sean is just a liar. He's gonna leave out, even if she said I'm coming, and he knew she was coming in advance, he still wouldn't have said nothing.
He still wouldn't have. And that's
just because he seemed like to Destiny, like Kelly just wanted to come, but you invited her.
Yeah.
You invite her on the phone.
Yeah. And then, so to be surprised about her would be stupid. But the only reason I think maybe because Kelly did ask for his room number and all that. So I know they set it up like that to make us think that they're going. So then it kind of makes me wonder too, because if Kelly asked for his room number and you looked at that front desk versus the front desk that, then it would mean that Destiny's not at his hotel.
Unless the other son's name is Sean. Is his?
Yeah, because he could have been Sean Jr. Yeah. So Kelly could have been asking for her son's room.
Yeah. That's why I was like, they don't look like the same hotel. I was totally confused with that. Like, and then how did they not bump into each other?
Yeah. But we know what they're at two different hotels, so one of them is not showing up. So what I was thinking was that because he was already saying, I hope Kelly doesn't mess this wedding up, or something about mess the wedding up. So I'm like, so then does he know she's there? So I was like, maybe if she did go by, she went at a different time of the day. But I don't know, because like I said, it could be the son's room that she asked about. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it unanimous, and I'm gonna say it's Destiny that's at his door. But watch it end up being Kelly, because I think if I was Destiny, I wouldn't show up before that. I would show up at the wedding because I don't want him to chop me up into pieces and I don't make it there. Like, it's gonna be seen, so y'all know I was here if you try to come after me.
But see, the thing is, you got to think about it with Destiny. Destiny is showing up because she solely wants money. So maybe she think if she goes before the wedding, she can get the money from him. And then if he doesn't give her the money, then she's going to go back and act a fool at the wedding. But it was crazy because she made a threat on camera, which I was like, girl, you got to knock that off. Did y'all hear when she threatened? Talking about he be a dead man.
I'm like, be dead.
My thing is that he don't owe her nothing though. That's why I'm like, I don't do
anything. She's delusional.
Everything she's saying is stupid. Like she's delusional. She's just retarded because like there's nothing that she said that made any sense, from the ring to just I forgot what she even said. The other stuff was because as she was saying it, I'm like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense.
She makes no sense.
And then it's like, you trying to insinuate that your ex was better in bed and all this other stuff, but obviously you ain't with him either. So who cares who's better in bed now? You ain't got neither one of them. Mm-hmm. So it's either so don't dog Sean out and then show up like, oh, I'm gonna take his money too. Like, man, go somewhere, girl. Go somewhere, sit down somewhere and raise that baby the right way. For you have yourself back in jail and then that baby be in foster care. I'm like, or back with the dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm like. Because it's just all she gonna do is get herself in trouble. What is your big old pregnant self gonna do? All they gotta do is call the cops. Like you're coming and threatening about some money that's not yours. It ain't like he really owes you this money. Mm-hmm. Call the cops and then you're done. I'm like, that's so stupid. But I guess she just got to be relevant or something. I don't know. Maybe she wasn't done with being on the show. She needed some extra cash. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just silly to me that she's even there. It should be. I mean, if anybody, I understand Kelly, even though I don't get it if she didn't bring the kids. But she's the only person that to me makes any sense even being there.
Right.
All right. So next we go on to Chance and Taylor. So we see Chance is dressed up as an Easter bunny. So apparently they're celebrating Easter with the kids in the park. So Bobby and Taylor's dad and his wife show up. And so the dad gives us some insight, and it actually helped me to understand Taylor a little bit better because I was completely lost in the sauce with this girl. So apparently Taylor is used to being like the responsible one, you want to say, in the family, because she explained at one point her dad and his wife and Bobby, all three of them were living with her. So the dad was having some kind of issues. I can't remember if they actually said it was drug related that the dad was having these issues where
It's not.
financially,
He
I don't know.
wasn't drug. It wasn't drug related for him.
Okay. So I'm not sure what
Probably
his issues was.
financial.
Yeah, but he had some issues and he had to move in with Taylor. And so while he was living there, he became upset or whatever with Bobby, and he called the police and asked them to do a welfare check on Bobby at the house, hoping that Bobby had some warrants on her. Which, this is my thing. I get it. You got a family member that is on drugs, but I feel like to call the police on her and you know your grandchildren live there, like, I'm sorry, that does not equal out a good person. That is not you truly trying to help her. Why would you send the cops there to a home that you know your grandchildren are living in, trying to set her up? Now, for a father trying to set up his daughter is one thing. Then also, you don't even care about your grandchildren at this point. And so, he says some things about Bobby, in which you can tell he still has some issues with Bobby, which it just kind of made me sad because I'm like, as a father, these are the things that you're saying. I get it that Bobby has a drug issue or whatever, but you're on TV and you're saying these things, and you've also, well, I guess he didn't let it out the bag. Taylor let it out the bag that you did things to try to get her arrested. But let's see the here. And so Chance gets to meet Taylor's dad. And so you see he's cracking a bunch of corny jokes that aren't going anywhere. Nobody's laughing at his jokes. They're very corny. He was like, yeah, I do drugs and I end up in handcuffs. I'm allergic to something. He said, was it the handcuffs or drugs? What did it do? But it was very corny jokes. He kept on.
Like the drugs up a handcuff.
Mm-hmm. And so they end up going back home. So it looked like they had a nice visit. Looked like the girls were doing like an Easter egg hunt. Looked like they had a good time. So then we see them back at Taylor's house, and Chance drives up in a new truck. And so, the girls and Taylor come out the house. And so Taylor looks a little confused by what's going on here. Like, did you just buy this? How much did this truck cost? And he's like, it's $575 a month. And she's like, these rims are nice. Did it come with these rims? And he's like, no, I got these rims. I put these rims on there. She's like, how much do the rims cost? He says $3,000. And so she's doing the math in her head, and she's like, oh, that's like a third of your paycheck. And he's like, well, I'm handling la 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 la, and I'm gonna he's just talking and stuff. They end up going back in the house. You can kind of tell he's a little disappointed that I guess that Taylor wasn't as happy about the truck as he thought she was gonna be. So they go inside and they're talking, and Taylor tells him, I'm worried about our financial situation, which I felt like that's an honest thing to say to this man who was spending his money without talking to you. And he was like, I'm going to be able to swing it and I'm going to actually get us into a bigger, nicer place. And she said something that like should have stuck out to him. She was like, why can't we just stay here and make this place nicer? And so, I don't remember him really saying anything back to her, but I understood where she was coming from with that. It's like instead of, oh, and then she was talking, they have to plan for a wedding too. They got to save up for this wedding. And he's like, we can just get a loan for the wedding. Johnny and Reese, what did y'all think about Chance and Taylor this week?
Well, it's obvious he has no concept of finances and debt and how that can mess up your whole budget. But debt is definitely hell. I'm still learning, but it's just when you really break it down and look at what you're actually paying and all the extra money you pay for interest and all that stuff, it's crazy. So she might need to look into maybe doing it together and saying, hey, let's just go do this financial class, to maybe educate him better on finances. Addiction is a hard thing to deal with. And when you're dealing with a person who has addiction, you can't be their reason to stay sober. They cannot control your life and put limits on you for them to stay sober. It is a choice that they make, and it is a choice that they keep breaking when they go and overdose or put you and your family at risk, because they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about an action you took that caused them to do this. Her father actually opened up a lot of what I had pretty much figured what was going on with them. They have a very bad codependent relationship. And that could be just because they're twins, but I haven't seen most twins fall into this codependency the way Bobby and Taylor are. Bobby has lived with Taylor, seems like their whole life. When she's not in jail, she's at Bobby's. She does drugs. She ODs. When her dad moved in, she OD'd. He said a few times. Don't know the time frame of all of that. Don't know what she did to him, because he acts like a parent who has been hurt and who is tired of his child making these bad decisions. And maybe at this particular point, jail is the only thing that keeps her right, because when she gets with her sister, she falls back into the spiral of ODing. So last episode, I had nothing to say because I just didn't want to talk about all that stuff anyway, because it is personal. I've dealt with somebody who has addiction, and it is hard. It's hard to cut that person off. It is hard to go on about your life and realize that their decisions have nothing to do with you. And that's where Taylor needs to get. She honestly needs to get there and realize that no matter, it might not be Taylor, it might not be Chance that she marries, but whatever her husband is or whoever her boyfriend will be, Bobby will always be the one to try and come in between that by ODing. And it's going to get to the point where she won't wake up. She won't be in a facility getting better again. She will go away. And Taylor's going to have to be okay with that and realize that it's not your fault. It's not your fault that she ODs. It's not your choices that she ODs. She has to decide and make that decision for herself to stop. And I think that's a part of, I feel bad for Taylor, because she's not only being manipulated by her sister, she's also being manipulated by Chance. And the whole thing about why Chance wants to buy another house, it's because this house isn't his. Just recently went through that. And as long as he doesn't feel that's his house, as much as he is trying to have control, he doesn't, because Taylor still manages to say, well, this is my house. And that's when he realizes, yeah, it is. And I can't really say much. But once he makes it his house, that's where he's trying to get to the point where he can control of what Bobby does and doesn't do, coming in, coming out. And then she also needs to show him how much those kids do cost. Because like I also said, Bobby does help her as far as financially with those kids. And that could be why she allows that. But even still, that's a dangerous situation, because she's OD'd so much at your house. She has OD'd numerous times at your house. This was not the first time. This wasn't the second time. This is an ongoing situation that this girl has done for years. Your kids have been exposed to this for years. And I don't understand what it's like to have a twin. I don't have a twin, but I can't imagine going through that for years and picking her over my kids and constantly exposing my kids to that type of behavior. That's just not healthy for them either. So she really needs, Taylor needs help, and she really needs to figure out how to put herself and her children first. Your children come first, not your sister, who keeps making the same decision no matter what. So I don't know what she's gonna do with that, but the dad, just seeing how he responds to her and what he said, and I did find that so funny when he said what's your work, and he said part-time lover and something about, and then sex slave on the other side, and the dad just had that stone cold face, like, I'm not playing with you. And Taylor was like, why would you tell that to my dad? And they just kind of, I mean, he was stone cold. Like, it was like, oh, okay. He wasn't, but he never even changed. Like, he never even tried to impress her father. And the only thing he said that I was kind of like, okay, was when he said, the father said something, I think it was about Bobby going to jail. And he was like, well, I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm going to make sure we give her the help she needs, or something.
The dad was saying that, he wasn't going to allow Bobby to come between him and his wife.
Yeah.
And then Chance was like, well, I'm not going to allow her to come between my relationship either.
Yeah. But he's letting him know it's definitely possible. And I do believe it's possible, because even last week, she was almost trying to place the blame on him as to why she OD'd. It's not his fault why she OD'd. The circumstances sucked, but you are okay with the circumstance.
Who are you saying put the blame on Chance?
No, for him to feel like you feel it's my fault why your sister OD'd, and she didn't really say yes or no, but I do feel like she believes it's his fault. If he didn't force her to be in the garage, she wouldn't have done drugs and she wouldn't have OD'd. No, that's not how that goes. That's just not how it goes. She chose to OD. She chose to take drugs. She did not choose to do all the vices that they teach you. They teach you to communicate. They teach you to say these things. They teach you to go to counseling. She didn't do any of that stuff. So she still hasn't learned that life changes. Things change. People change. Situations change. And if you're not comfortable with the situation and you feel like it's going to put you in a position where you're going to do drugs, you are supposed to do these certain types of things. And she didn't do them. So when he first came in saying all of that, because it's not like he was all of a sudden about it. He's been saying it since he moved into that house. She should have started seeking help then, because she also knew that her sister was going to allow it to happen. She should have started seeking help at that time, and she didn't.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think you kind of said it. Like, not really much else to add. I thought Chance was being super corny, but at the same time, it was kind of funny when he was making all them comments, the jokes like, yeah, I found out I'm allergic to drugs because I always end up in handcuffs or whatever. He said, like, it was corny, but it was actually like funny to me. But I was like, you know what? I guess he's showing the dad, like, this is me. I'm not going to be fake for you just because this is me meeting you. And I guess in a way, it's good for the dad to really see who he's getting or what he's going to be dealing with right off the bat, versus a couple months later you come in and he's like, well, I've been here for this long now. I don't care. And this is me, and you're like, whoa, what happened to the dude I met? Because he was cool. I don't want you for my daughter. At least not he up front. Like, look, I don't like him. This is who he is and I don't like him, Mm-hmm. But, or I like him. He up front. He just corny, I don't know. But the only thing I would say that I did appreciate was, for the first time, I felt like, even if he is still manipulating, because I know he is a master manipulator, mm-hmm. But in this episode, particularly about Bobby, he did show concern and care. And he was like, it wasn't like, oh, I OD'd and I was laying here and looking like this, and just about him. He did say like I've been there and I know what it's like, and she just needs help. He was like, I'm not going down that path anymore, and if I can do it, she can do it. Maybe she can, maybe she can't, because maybe that is a way of her controlling situations. Is like those like kind of, I don't say fake suicidal people, but there's some people who would commit suicide or do crazy things every time stuff ain't going their way so that things can go back their way.
Right.
Maybe somebody like, oh, I don't want my mom to marry this dude, so I'm gonna kill myself. And then she's like, okay, fine, well, I'll leave. Just don't kill yourself,
Right.
Stuff like that, and it seemed like maybe this is her way of getting attention when things ain't going the way she wants them to. She ODs, and maybe it's not intention like I want to die, or maybe it's like she don't want to be here, and it's her way of being suicidal too. Who knows? But she's got to learn that, like you said, there's steps that she needs to take, processes she needs to do, and if she don't know those, then she needs to seek help, because she is gonna end up dead. Because you can't keep playing that game, and then your body eventually one day is not gonna be strong enough to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when you OD, you're gonna OD, or somebody's gonna find you a couple minutes too late, and you'll be brain dead, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so she really needs to figure out what it is that she needs to do to get help for her own sanity. And if her sanity is not right living there, then maybe she should consider like maybe staying local, but not in the same house. I don't know. As far as the truck, I think he was wrong for that too. I think he should have talked to her and let her know, like, hey, I'm gonna get a truck, and I don't want an old raggedy truck that's gonna break down. I want a brand new truck. They talked about it. If she said no, I don't think you should do it, then at least express the fact that I'm gonna do it regardless. But I'm letting you know something. But to come home with a 20-something, $30,000 truck, and then you went and put rims on it, like that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Like you didn't need to do that right away. That's something that could have been done later, but whatever. And then he was like, and I've calculated. So he said that the payment was gonna be like 5 something. Then he said, I think insurance plus the rims is like another 2 something. I'm like, that's a lot of money for basically
So
a truck payment.
So not only did he finance a truck, he financed Rams too.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be more than 3,000.
Yeah,
And
I mean, that's why I said like interest, all that stuff pays a part in anything you do when it comes to finance and stuff like that. And like it's just because but then like it's like 575 is the norm for a car note, and it's like that's still high. Because think of how much of that is really interest and how much you're actually paying on the truck itself. So it's and then I'm still like I those are the moments where you're like, that is where you always, and I know we don't talk about race a lot on here, but that's when you see this white guy who just got out of jail able to finance a $28,000 truck with no cosigner, with a job that he ain't even had for what?
For 6 months. We know he had it 6 months. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, am I missing something? How was he even able to get it financed in the first place? Like, that doesn't make sense. You think Ray is going to go and be able to get a truck financed in his name? Like, it's just crazy to me. And I know it's in certain parts because who was the guy? He's the son whose mom's an alcoholic. And the girl went and tried to get him a car, but he couldn't finance it.
Oh, yeah. It was Lacey and what is his name? Antoine.
Yeah. Lacey. So, I mean, obviously it's in different areas, but did anybody think to say, how did you get that car financed? How did a dealership allow that finance to go through? And because he was at a buy here, pay here lot. He wasn't even at a real dealership. Yeah. But I mean, the dealership itself, the bank actually went through with that financing. Just makes you wonder.
Then I'm also wondering, how did he get a truck? Like, I don't know what type of truck that was, but how did he get it so low? Unless that thing has like stupid amount of miles on it. Because like trucks don't even go to that price. No, like right now, cars are that price, 30,000. how'd you get a truck for 30,000? And it actually looks new and looks nice.
It's
So that's why
nice.
I'm like, unless like the miles are like it's already got 300,000 miles on it or something, so it really ain't worth 27.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. He didn't mention that he put down a down payment or whatever. So
It
he was
has to,
able to go into the lot and get a car, quote unquote, with no
it
down
has
payment
to
possible.
be something because I'm like, ain't no way that truck really cost 30,000. Cause I'm like, shoot, my car is worth that.
Or for all we know, that's what he's saying to her. He could have paid
Yeah, and
more.
it's not
Worth
true.
that.
But you made a good point there. Most trucks you're not going to be able to get for that. That's what cars are going for
But
now.
not one that looks in that good of condition and that new. No.
Yeah, but I just, like I said, it's just amazing to me to watch this stuff on TV. And here I've had my job 11 years. You think they're going to finance me for a $28,000 truck? Like, his credit can't be A1. You know, like, it's just like this whole thing just like it just had me mind boggled. Like, how the hell did he do that? How? With what credit score? Because you can build credit while you're in jail. Like, I'm just trying.
No,
I'm
but you know,
just
your bad
asking.
stuff could fall off,
By the
possibly,
time,
but I
but
don't
even
know.
still, I thought when there's nothing on your credit, that's just as bad as having bad debt.
It is.
So I just want to know. I want to find out the dealership and call them and be like, yeah, I want to finance a truck too, and
Pretty much for 30,000. Shoot ya.
see what I get.
Shoot ya. I'm gonna get a car
Like,
because I know my car got to be cheaper than that. So shoot,
well,
a little
there's this
SUV
one,
or something.
but this one guy did tell me he said that buying cars up north are a lot cheaper than buying them down here, and he just bought himself a truck. So maybe there's some truth to that.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
how much do you pay?
Oh, I didn't get into all this business like that. We're new.
Cause see,
We're new,
cause
new.
see, what somebody might be saying is cheaper is that it could be 40,000 versus 60, 70 that they charging down south. You know,
Yeah, but
you know, a
then
lot of
I was
places
thinking
like,
about
to
when
get
you,
a truck right now, you talking like 70, 80,000 for like a regular like
yeah,
F-150.
I've seen those trucks. They're not cheap.
It's
But
and
maybe
you
it's
know they
because
already want cheap, but right now because of parts, you know, like it's like buying furniture, it's like buying a house right now, buying anything right now. It's they don't have
too
it's
much.
supply and demand right now, so everything is raised. Like, you know, like the car you got right now is worth more than what it was worth a couple years ago. And
Right.
cars don't go up in value; they depreciate. But right now, everything's going up in value, and it's like it's crazy. Makes you want to sell everything, but then you can't afford to get nothing
You
back.
ain't gonna have nothing, right?
Yeah, like I can get all this money, but then I can't. Now I'm gonna put it all
Yeah,
back.
sell your house. Get this $300,000. Oh, okay.
But then
Well,
it costs.
go buy a new house for $1 million.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, well, that didn't make sense.
Right. No, not at all.
Mhm. Alrighty. So then our next couple after Chance was Chaz and Brandon. They could have gave me one of the other couples this week. They really could. I mean, but instead they decided to waste my time with these two. All right, so we see that Chaz and Brown when they're still hanging out with her friends, and then we also find out this is like the next day. So Branwen, you remember the first day Branwen had talked to her probation, parole, whatever officer, and she had gotten the ability to stay overnight at that cabin with them. Well, now it's the next day, so she doesn't have to spend a night with him now because she got to go back home. Alrighty, and so they are telling him and asking him about going to a strip club, which they actually end up doing. So he gets in the car with all these girls and they go to the strip club. And, you know, he gets a lap dance. Brand will make sure he gets his own little private session with like a stripper. And then, you know, Chaz is starting to catch on because he's like, he wonders if Branwen is pushing, you know, him off onto the strippers so that she doesn't have to be alone with him. That's what he's starting to feel like. And I would feel that way too. Like, here we go. I done came into town. You got special permission to spend the night with me, and you still haven't touched me? I haven't touched you? Like, what's going on here? And so after he gets done with his with his dance with the stripper, her friend pulls him to the side and wants to have a talk with him. Which I've never in my lifetime seen so many friends that want to get involved in their friends' relationships like this. But she pulls them to the side and, you know, they talk and stuff like that, you know, mostly about Branwen leaving. Um, it appears none of her friends want her to leave. But I feel like that's the best thing probably for her is to just go ahead and leave this situation. And Chaz, he made a good point. He said all of her friends want her to stay here and they're all acting all buddy buddy. But when she's in jail, they're nowhere around. So how could they truly be like her buddies like that? Their scenes are just very boring. That's about it. Like we said, we find out they haven't been alone still. And there was a scene where he was driving her back home. And it's like every time, Chaz wants to be alone with this girl, why is it she always, her face goes into the, and her voice gets cracky every time. I'm like, okay, I'm getting tired of this. This is annoying. Just be real with this man at this point. Like, you just doing way too much. All right, so Branwen and Chaz, anybody's thoughts on the 2 minutes we get to see of them?
They yeah. You see how it made me stutter? That's how stupid their scene is. So you set them up, you get permission to stay, but all your people with you when you stay the night out. So you ain't got
Mm-hmm.
to go alone. Then y'all go to the strip club, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? If you wanna take him and let him experience what you used to do, which that still is weird, but he was like, she wants me to experience what she used to how she used to. I'm like, that's weird. But like if you enjoy doing that and want to go as a couple, whatever, that's fine. He still was being really awkward because like when the stripper came over, he was like, "Oh, excuse me, I'll move this. Sorry, excuse me." The stripper know how to work around her feet around that all the stuff on the table. Like if she gonna come across without knocking everything off. She's been doing this for a long time, probably, unless she's a newbie. And then in that case, let her get in trouble because she ain't supposed to be doing that. She should get on there and try to work around
She
the
needs
stuff
to
on the
learn
table.
to control her body if that's the case.
Control your body. And so, he dancing and then he's all like, after he does a lap dance, he come out and make sure she knows I was a good boy, but I had fun. So you probably didn't have fun. You probably sitting there like, hi. And then, and they show you like, so where are you from? Like, that's not what you do when you get in a lap
Yeah,
dance.
I was laughing at that too.
Whatever. Like, he's lame like that. We know he's a cornball. But, so then it, like you said, the friend talks to him, and to me, it almost sounded two ways. Like it sounded like the friend was warning him that she don't want you, and she's gonna stay here, or maybe even the friend was saying if she remains here, she's not gonna want you. So you need to talk her into leaving soon. I don't want her to go, but if she remains here, she's not gonna want you. So either she needs to go now or soon before she gets even more established, or she don't want you. She's established. So it can go both ways, but either way, what the friend was saying was right. The longer she stays, the less likely she's gonna leave. Period. So if you really want your wife to come, then as soon as possible, as soon as she's allowed, you need to be working on getting her transferred over if that's what she wants. But it does seem like she didn't enrolled in school. She's what I'm saying? She's content with her work and all that. Like, she's not gonna want to uproot, especially all her friends are there, her daughter's there. Um, it's already a hard decision. So the longer she stays while she's free, the less likely. But again, them friends weren't there for her when she was in jail. That's how she ended up with Chaz. So she also needs to look at that when she makes this final decision. Like, I mean, her daughter's grown. Her daughter can come visit her. She can come back to visit her daughter. It's not like her daughter's a kid, So I get it. You want to have the relationship. Um, but y'all just gonna have to just learn to like talk long distance and then visit often or something. Obviously it ain't too far of a drive. Um, or flight, whatever. I'm sure Chaz will pay for that. Um, but it's just I don't know. Like you said, as soon as it came down to, well, you can come and see me, and she was like, I know it's only gonna be 2 hours, and then I'm just like, dude, that's too much. It really is. Like, you don't need to make that face and cry and murmur and complain every time this man wants to be by himself. He didn't even say sex. I know he's gonna push himself on her. I know he's gonna throw his tongue down her mouth. She knows that he's gonna do that every time y'all in the car because he was doing it when he dropped her off. It was like you know what I mean? Like the kisses are already nasty. If you don't like him, tell the man now and leave him alone. Like stop with this whole like. Because now the anxiety thing, all this stuff, I'm over that too. I tried to be team her, and I get it. I heard rumors. But even without the rumors, it's like, okay, come on now. The man only asking if all you can do is 2 hours there with him. then do the 2 hours with him and just tell him like I'm still not ready for that, but I do want to hang out. I guarantee you, even if it breaks him on the inside, that man will sit up with her and watch TV and cuddle or whatever. And probably all she gotta do is give him a couple kisses. And I bet you he'd have been satisfied, even if it didn't satisfy him on the inside, just to sit with his beautiful wife for 2 hours. That man would have been happy. But instead, she
Yeah.
got to start crying, and it'll only be with 2 hours is fine, but it's only gonna be 2 hours. 2 hours is a lot when you ain't around each other ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, take what you can get, whether it's gonna be full of you know what I'm saying? Like Deontay said, tearing breaking backs or whatever. Whether it's that or whether it's just sitting there holding hands or just not even touching, just sitting there watching TV together.
Yeah,
It's more than a beautiful chat.
She could chill with him, take the reptile kisses, and just move on. Heck, she could probably calm him down if she just gave him a hand job.
Probably. But it's like she got to be so dramatic about everything. It's like, dude, chill out, because it's just extra that's unnecessary, and then it's obvious. And then he's about to see red flags. You've been saw those red flags, and then yet you're gonna still sit there and wait. So whatever, but she obvious with her red flags. Like, you can go and have them let you stay out overnight to take him to the strip club, but you can't stay out overnight to hang out with him one-on-one. Like, I'm sure that would have been a better birthday gift to him than the strip club.
Right.
But because you don't want to have sex with him, you want to, I don't know, like, that to me was very selfish and very messed up. Like, I feel like you should never did any overnight trips then if you want to keep playing this role. Because now that I know you can make it happen, then you should have made it happen 2 nights. Or you should have not did the strip club thing and we just hung out.
Right.
But
But see, that's the thing. The strip club was actually on the second night. So they were together that first night, but I guess she kept her friends there to, stop any hanky-panky from going on.
True. I'm sure they probably knew that's what she was doing. So.
The only thing I had was, just remember his flight was delayed. So they were supposed to be together the first night. She only could get the extension for the one night, not more than that. But like you said, that's still just an excuse that there was so much she could have done in 2 hours before she had to be back to where she was supposed to be. So.
Yeah, because they had to drive to the cabin.
Yeah.
And then go back. I mean, who cares? Like, you can just be with somebody that you love, even if it's 2 hours. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's annoying, but whatever. And then you talking about all this stuff like, well, with school, this, that. He only asked me for 2 hours.
Yeah. I thought it was funny how he accidentally licked the girl's nipple. He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
He probably did accidentally do
it. He was having this drought and
he was like,
wife. Yeah.
I thought that was funny. I was like, how do you accidentally lick a nipple? But he didn't know his mouth was open when she was coming to.
He probably was there. He probably was like, dang, it was just a nipple. Shoot.
I know. He should have just gone and did what he had to do in the booth. Yeah, that was it wasn't the tickler he thought it was going to be.
If she would have probably thought it was for real, he'd be like, I'm sorry. He could have got away with it because I'd have been like, this dude don't know what to do with these and why. Okay.
Yeah, he was so
cornball and kept dancing.
But you know what? I'm the reverse. I am that way too. I'm goofy. I don't think there's a sexy part to me. I think I would always make it uncomfortable. So be sitting there trying to dance. Oh, so what'd you do today?
I remember in the movie. I'm sorry, The Best Man. You remember when he was getting the guy that was married to Shelby? He was getting the lap dance.
He fell into it like you're supposed to. He didn't create conversation. He was just like.
I thought he had asked her something about, is this what you want to do for the rest of your life or something, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
I don't remember that. I remember him saying, "What's your name?" And she said her name, and he just was kind of like mesmerized.
don't know.
I don't remember him speaking to her. I think he was truly mesmerized by her.
I feel like they had a little corny conversation, but I could maybe I'm mixing up two movies. I might be.
Who knows?
Yeah, but that's funny. That's me. I'm awkward like that. Oh, so what you doing? Hey, yeah. And I have to be careful with my girls. My girls will knock them out if I swing by accident. Be like, ooh. That was an accident. I didn't mean to knock you out. You got a concussion.
Oh Lord.
Oh gosh.
Well, all right. Well, that was this week's episode. Just wasn't this jaw-dropping thing. They showed us some clips for next week, which look like it hopefully is good and it's not just a play up on some things. And we'll also get to see, hopefully, who was that knocking at Sean's door. All right. Okay, so again, I want to thank you, friends, for watching us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. And until next time, friends, bye.